Well, now, what it is, what it do is me and my player partner, me and my dog Charlie Watt, we in a building. You know what I'm saying? It's me, OG Negative, because I hate everything. But what I do not hate is what the New Orleans Saints have been doing in this draft. I I like to get your grade on it in a little bit, but man, I feel like the Saints really addressed a lot of needs. And they really got dangerous on offense. But tonight, my brother, we talking about defense. We talking about one Christian Miller. That's
Lord.
us. Oh, that's
no, that's not us.
Damn, that's not us.
Damn, we gotta. We need a new brand.
We need a new brand.
Here's another. Here's an old brand.
Hey, a lot of brands. The brand's still strong.
Oh man, and this ain't the brand. This ain't the brand either. But that's gonna be the brand.
But that's gonna
be the brand. This gonna be the brand.
Yeah. Yep. Don't trip.
Yep.
So listen, man. The Saints drafted Christian Miller, and just for anybody who's unaware, been under a rock, I'm gonna give you some breakdown on it. 6'3" and a quarter, 6'3" and 3/4, 321 pounds. I mean, just a beast in interior lineman. Good run support. He played 14 games last year. He had 23 tackles, 4 tackles for losses, 1.5 sacks. He was also named first team All SEC honors and won a national championship in 2022. Initial thoughts on you before we get to the film on Mr. Miller.
Oh, so I know a lot of people wanted them, and they ultimately ended up trading for a defensive end, who we will eventually talk about, not in this show, but in a different show, the Raiders. Former first round pick, I believe he was number 7 in 2023, but we'll talk about that later. But a lot of people wanted the Saints early to go pass rusher in the second round versus going defensive tackle. And I remember telling you, even in the watch party, that I felt like they needed to get an interior presence defensively. Not saying Brian Brzee isn't. Man, let me not sound like a rookie, bro. Not to say that what the Saints have been doing in the interior line over the past few years is 100% flawed. I think they have invested there in a few different ways. But
it could get better.
But it could get better. And you've been, you've seen them, last year it was some later draft picks, some day 2, day 3 kind of guys. And then it was some fringe rotational starters from last year and then the year before. But I think when you look at what NFL is right now, and you look at just the Super Bowl winning teams over the past 5 years, they've all had really good interior threats. Some of these guys are really good, at blowing up the run, maybe early down guys, and others may be really good pass rushers. Some may be a little bit of both. The Saints, I don't know if that was on their mind, but when you look at from last year for the Seahawks, it was Leonard Williams. Maybe his best year as a pro. The year before that, Jalen Carter with Philly. And then before that, it's Chris Jones, Hall of Famer. I'm going off top of the dome here. Before that, Chris Jones again, right? I believe Kansas City won back to back. And then you're talking Aaron Donald, and then you're talking Vita Vea. Like if I'm correct, those are close to in order how the Super Bowl winners have went. I don't think that's by accident. So getting somebody like Christian Miller, and we're gonna watch the film. We're gonna talk the comps, the strengths and weaknesses. But when you are thinking about Brandon Staley's defense, and for a guy that likes to run a 3-4, that likes to run in his sub packages 3-3-5, you need somebody in the middle that's able at the point of attack to be disruptive, whether it's against the run or being able to be strong and find versatile ways against a quarterback. And I think Christian Miller is a guy that can fit that, and those guys make jobs easier for everybody around the rest of your defense.
Man, it sounds like you're saying if you control the middle of the field, you control it. You control the game.
Yep.
Let's get to some film, my boy. All right, let's do this. Christian Miller. Shout out to the Saints, man. Appreciate the film work, my boys. Don't flag us. We're doing this out of love. We're doing this for the love of the game. Anyways, man, here we go. Any initial thoughts?
Well, I mean, the first thought is that you know, I'm curious if the Saints are gonna run. I know Brandon Staley, you know, we talked about more 3-4 kind of looks, 3-3-5s. I mean, he looks to project more so. I mean, watching him here, I mean, he's playing in these three lines. So it's just okay. Well, here he is in the middle here. Okay, because when you when you do some research, like a lot of scouts thought that he would translate best as an end. Maybe that falls into some of his versatility or in a 4-down lineman set. So, I mean, I'm just curious what Staley's plan is and what's going to be their plan in moving some of these guys around and using their versatility. But the first thing is he gets off the ball pretty fast.
We got to talk about him coming off the line. Like we got to talk about him being able to hold this edge, and it wasn't even his edge.
Mm-hmm.
He got down the line to fill up the gap because the end was being blocked. He got off 2 men right there. Pause. He got off 2. Never mind. Never mind. So crazy. Damn. All I could do is review the film and get better. Like that's all I could do.
Like we doing, man. We getting better, man. I know y'all know us for our basketball. You know our basketball stuff, bro. But we want to get better too. And this is gonna be this is part of us getting better, continuing to sharpen our skills in regards to understanding and talking about this game as well. Because something else I noticed, Lito, is I've seen him playing the end. It's pretty much all been 3 lineman sets.
Yeah.
So whether it's a 3-4, whether it's a nickel package. Whether it's a 3-4-5, I'm sorry, a 3-3-5, like this again fits what Staley likes to do. But if you're talking strictly about Miller, some of these plays you've seen him on the end, some of them you've seen him in the middle.
Right.
I mean, those are the guys that have that type of versatility you want at the next level, especially if they can excel at it.
I want to talk about his patience.
Talk to me.
This is obviously against a SEC team, so SEC linemen, big, strong, physical guys. But watch Miller read and react, right? Mm-hmm. So he's in the middle right here, right? So immediately, once the play starts, shuffles over to his right.
It's probably a stunt.
It's a stunt. Yeah, it's a stunt.
Yeah.
But just watch the patience because he could have just came down and attacked this gap right here.
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm not gonna do that.
Taking out 2 men.
Bro, the intelligence to understand what he was looking at, because that could have been anything, right? Like that play could have in college football. That play could have went any number of ways.
Yeah. I played football for a couple of years growing up, and I remember a coach told me, like, make the play before you make the play.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or, you got to make the play to make the play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, that's one of the things that it makes a big difference for guys at the next level. Everybody's fast, right? But if you are too thirsty to make the ultimate tackle, right? To not take care of your assignment first before you have the opportunity to ultimately get. Everybody wants to be in the backfield. Everybody wants to the quarterback sack. Everybody wants to tackle for loss. Everybody wants that. But sometimes your job is to take on just simply your assignment that could lead to a play for somebody else or ultimately lead to a play for you. And the ones that are able to do that a lot of times, like you mentioned, Lito, are able to use their aggressiveness and their patience together to bring that balance ultimately. And that's what some of the things you see in here.
Yeah, man. You gotta look again. Goddamn, boy. He didn't. I guess he got credit for the save, but boy, he's an animal, bro. Like one person. Look again, sliding down the line. It's two. It's two guys right here, right? I'm not supposed to. He's not supposed to make this play, and that's a hold.
Yeah. So some strengths here from research here that I found online. It says that Miller can be up and down with his anchor and rush consistency, but he is rock solid as a run defender who should excel on early downs. His role will shift depending on scheme, though he projects best as a one-gapping nose and a four-man front.
I see that.
Now, again, what do the Saints do ultimately? Do they decide to bring Cam Jordan back? Who else steps up, alongside Chase Young and Granderson in this particular, lineup, or in this particular room? We mentioned Cam. Are there some other moves because they were tied to a few other defensive ends in trade talks?
Yeah.
So it looks as if they're still trying to be aggressive to attack the defensive front, but all in all, I think the best thing that I could tell you right now is that this looks like a guy that you are going to be able to use in a few different ways. Like he's not going to be tied to just a certain type of scheme or a certain kind of alignment to excel, and that's worthy of a second round pick that could come in right away and be effective for you. They say some other thing, he's been compared to Kenny Clark. His ability as a run stopper and potential as a disruptive interior pass rusher. So yeah, man. But
I definitely see
day one, the Saints' run defense should have gotten much better.
And look, I say this too. I kind of feel not that I wanted them to not return Cam Jordan, but I feel better about if he does return with the additions that they made, and hopefully the dollars make sense. I feel better with Cam not having to play, full game impact, can play spot downs here and there, like can just be a guy who is, can like you put Cam on third down, right? You know what you're gonna get, right? Like he can be aggressive and not have to use all his energy on rundowns per se, right? Like I would feel better about that. And I think this is a good move, man. Like I like the pick. I think you're talking about a dude with championship experience in college. Won a national championship, played with great players at Georgia. You talked about Javon Carter. You know what I'm saying? Like playing behind Javon Carter, being able to learn and soak up the knowledge. I mean, Georgia has turned into a program. It seems to have taken Alabama's spot, right, as a perennial.
Yeah.
The perennial Southern program right now. We waiting on LSU to resume the mantle. You know what I'm saying? But I feel good about the pick, bro. How would you? Okay, so let me ask you this: what grade would you give this particular pick?
Probably a B.
Okay,
probably a B. I don't know if it's a home run yet. I think with guys like him that excel in their ability to stuff the run, it's never necessarily glamorized, right? Yeah. How disruptive he is what's gonna get him more attention. He could improve their run defense, and if you watch the game, you watch the all 22, or if you really pay attention to all the different elements of football, you might notice it, but the average fan may not, right? They're gonna be looking at stats and box scores and things along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think that, also like, look, Brian Brzee is in a situation where he needs to have a really good year upcoming. And he struggled in areas against the run. He hasn't been consistently the guy to get after the quarterback that the team envisioned when they got him in, when they were able to bring him, when they were able to draft him. So I look at Christian Miller as somebody who can help, right? Yeah. When you have somebody who has a strength that, you're good at this, he's good at this, right? Your strength is his weakness, his weakness is your strength. That complementary football, specifically in your room on your defensive line, that helps build good formulas, good schemes, good consistency. Yeah, man. So I mean, I would say a B. He's gonna have to show this ability to be disruptive at the next level for it to raise. But look, Lito, they were the Saints, I think, were 29th the year before last against the run, and last year they finished ninth worst. Yeah. So it was clearly a need that I don't think was talked about enough. And a lot of times that happens up the middle. It starts there. So I like the pick. I think it fits where a lot of the winners thrive at around the league. And I think the Saints could have, the Saints needed somebody with his ability if things work well, specifically with the talents they have right now.
No doubt, man. Well, listen, this is where we come to the end of the road, like boys and men. So like, subscribe, comment, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully we'll see y'all soon. And if there's anybody else you want us to talk about, we plan on trying to get through all the draft picks, at least talk about them, do a little bit of film work. If there's anybody else though, football wise, you want us to talk about, let us know. We will still be doing the Pels potential first round, second round draft film too. We just got to
look, Lito, like people are like, we're fighting to be able to do these breakdowns, right? We're fighting to hope that we don't get flagged when we put up these videos.
Facts.
But like that's just our fight.
Yeah.
It's people that support us, Lito, that fight better than us.
Oh, talk about who that? Damn, bro.
Scott Figner, man. Like it's at the bottom. They fight for wins too. They fight for the win. So look, man, you in an accident, you got a situation, these injury lawyers, you won't get paid like 500, 1, man. Holla at Scott Figner.
No doubt, man. Shout out to John Deere. Shout out to Theo's. Shout out to all the sponsors, man. You want your name down there? Come holla at the boys, man. We out.
Hey, you dropped your wallet. And this just in, attorney Scott Figner was seen chasing an ambulance. Wow.
For real?
But that's David Figner, not Scott.
I'm still confused. Hey, you dropped your mom?
My wallet. Oh, thanks, Dave.